still a week into this government shutdown, no end in sight. Dueling bills faced failure in the Senate yesterday. And then the president caused some confusion when he told reporters he was working with Democrats on a deal. Listen to this.
We have a negotiation going on right now with the Democrats that could lead to very good things. We are speaking with the Democrats, and some very good things could happen with respect to health care.
Well, that would be good. But Democratic leaders rebuffed that comment, saying they have not spoken with the president. Last night, the president clarified the comment, saying, quote, "I am happy to work with the Democrats on their failed health care policies or anything else. But first, they must allow our government to reopen. In fact, they should reopen our government tonight." CBS News congressional correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns is on the Hill right now and joins me now to talk about this. So, Caitlin, we are hearing there is some concern from some of the people who have been furloughed who may not get paid, which is kind of unusual. What can you tell us?
That's right, Vlad. Usually federal workers who are furloughed get back pay. In fact, in 2019, Congress passed a law ensuring that that was so, ensuring that federal workers would get back pay if indeed they were furloughed. That law was passed after the last government shutdown that ended in 2019, that lasted 34 days, the longest in history. But now, Vlad, this morning, there is a memo circulating around, and we haven't seen the exact contents of it yet, but a memo circulating around the White House that suggests that they are looking for some kind of loophole to see whether federal workers do need to be, in fact, paid back. Now, take a listen to how House Speaker Mike Johnson responded when he was asked about this very memo.
Shutdowns, many or most of them have been paid for the time that they were furloughed. But there is new legal analysis. I don't know the details. I just saw a headline this morning. I'm not read in on it, and I haven't spoken to the White House about it. But there are some legal analysts who are saying that that may not be appropriate or necessary in terms of the law requiring that back pay be provided. So I'm sure that'll be a
So that opens a lot more questions, at least for me, that I have for lawmakers than answers because of that 2019 law that was passed. So we are waiting to see what details emerge from that. But basically, Vlad, the question is this another instance of the White House trying to exert leverage in the shutdown debate?
I believe so. I believe that obviously you can't circumvent the law. And Hakeem Jeffries actually said and addressed that. But I do think that this is a way for them to continue to push for leverage so that the Democrats can give them the votes that they need in order to keep the government open. Now, I do remember that the Trump administration said something about the fact that if the government didn't remain open, then there's a possibility for people to be able to get layoffs. I don't believe that either. I also believe that that is a negotiation tactic for Democrats or against Democrats, because the real way that you're supposed to operate within the federal government is they are supposed to keep the government open. They're supposed to keep it funded. The problem that I have, even though I don't believe that that is a reality, but more or less it is a way for them to leverage it in negotiating to get the Democrats to keep the government open. The reality is this, is that the federal government is being shut down by Democrats who are hypocritical in that they said that the goal was to always keep the government open. Even in previous administrations, the goal was to always keep the government open. In 2023, Hakeem Jeffries said it. But here's the key. Now they want to hold the government hostage. They're supposed to continue to negotiate all the way up and through and work with the Trump administration on whatever it is that they think is meaningful to them. In this instance, it just so happens to be health care, because they want to keep Obamacare and the Obamacare era tax credits open so that they can continue to fund all of these other governments like California so that they can get health care for illegal migrants, which is also a loophole for them to be able to create economic activity inside of their states and their cities, right? Because they have not been able to balance their budgets since COVID, and they are still going based off of COVID era spending instead of prior to that. So instead of them keeping the government open and then debating and then working with the Trump administration, doing their job on a daily basis, instead of doing press conferences to try to figure out blame and point to blame and so on and so forth. Now we're having a conversation about whether or not government workers are going to be furloughed.
And try to get Democrats to cross over and support the funding bill. Both sides remain very entrenched in their positions, as they have for a week now. There's been very little movement. And so is this something that could change the dynamic? We have to wait and see.
So the president, as we indicated, Caitlin, in that True Social post, says that he's happy to negotiate with the Democrats, but they got to reopen the government. What kind of leverage do the Democrats have to even begin those negotiations with the president?
Well, first of all, this has been the position of Republicans for this whole time. We can talk about these health care subsidies. We can have a conversation about health care. But first, you have to vote to open the government. So even though there was a lot of back and forth with the president, that is where he ended up in the latest statement. So that has been the Republican position this whole time. The Democrats are arguing, and this is their argument, we'll have to wait and see if this bears out, that that constituents are already getting notices from their healthcare companies, insurance companies, that their premiums are set to rise. So they are betting that public pressure will build once more and more people get notices of their premiums rising. Vlad, that could be a few weeks from now. So whether they are willing to game this out for the next month, that remains to be seen as well.
Yep, we'll be watching. Caitlin Huey-Burns for us on the Hill. Thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate it. All right, the other big impact that shutdown is having, air travel in the United States. Here's one example. Near Los Angeles, where Burbank's airport went hours without air traffic controllers. In fact, federal officials have flagged more ATC facilities for low staffing than since the post-COVID travel boom of 2022. So let's go to the Hollywood Burbank Airport and check in with CBS News Los Angeles reporter Amanda Starantino. Amanda, good to see you. What have you seen this morning? What can you tell us about where the airport is as far as staffing is concerned?
Hey, good morning, Vlad. Well, what we can see and what we hear is planes are taking off this morning. Flights were scheduled to start taking off around 7 a.m. I've seen about 5 or 6 already make it up into the air across from Southwest, United, American, Delta, Alaska. So good news there for passengers trying to head out, because last night it was very, very quiet here. About 3 to 4 hour delays for some people. Flights completely canceled as well. Complete travel headaches. I talked with some travelers heading in this morning that were a little concerned that they might run into the same thing.
Don't know if I have a flight or not. Huh?
Yeah.
No, we're not delayed today. It says we're on time, at least on the app thing, so we'll see.
So these concerns come after yesterday, as the control tower here at Burbank was completely shut down from after 4 p.m. into the evening with no air traffic controllers at all. Operations had to be handled remotely from San Diego by Southern California Tracon. That's a team that usually manages regional air traffic, not our local towers. Because of that, flights ran well past the airport's usual 10 p.m. voluntary curfew. But to make up for lost time, some planes were still taking off close to about 11 o'clock Monday night. Air traffic controllers are considered essential workers, which means they have to keep working, but without pay. That's led to a spike in sick calls nationwide. Transportation Department officials say they've seen an uptick in employees calling out sick during this government shutdown.
Yeah, this is a way for them to protest. They will get, especially air traffic controllers, they will get all of their money back that they worked. And you know, I guess they just get it in one big paycheck. Some people are saying that the 15th, which is 8 days away from what, you know, me recording this video, is when you're going to really start to see people feel the pain. But I personally anticipate that it being fixed by then, but we'll see. You never know. Let me know what you guys think inside of the comments. Make sure you tap into the Patreon link is in the description. T-Chanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.